on their team in that regard.
Did you guys feel it was clear about what his business does?
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions before we get started? To make sure I want to make sure you understand exactly what the business does. Any questions about what he does? Yes, sir.
How do you make money?
How do you make money?
We make money from our vendors.
You're worried about the details, sir.
We make money from our vendors pay us a commission in some cases. Some cases the university will pay us in like a service fee, fees and commissions.
So maybe, I had that same question from earlier. The way to think about it is it's a modern day travel agent, right?
Group, specializing in group
groups.
travel. Yes, sir.
Specializing in college athletics.
Absolutely.
No little league.
We do a little bit on the West Coast, some competitive travel teams where they're going 8-9 times on the road. They're traveling as a group. We do manage that, but 95% of what we do is collegiate.
What are some of the challenges that you have in your business today that most people could relate to?
I think the biggest challenge for us, a small business, is the marketing aspect. It is going to these universities, Arizona State, for example, we work with a piece of their program. We want to do more with them. It's shifting an athletic department that's been around for 100 years in some cases, having them see how they do travel differently. Well, we've always done it like this. We're not interested in talking to you. Getting them to really listen to say, hey, you work with us, it's one contact for everything. It makes your job a lot easier. We're the logistic person. You make one phone call, you can knock out everything with just one contact throughout the whole year.
So what's the differentiator that would make someone like Arizona State move to you? What service do you provide? What technique do you apply? What's different?
I think what's different, we've built a platform on our website that's tied with a back end to every hotel partner that we work with in every Division I city, from South Florida to Marquette to Seattle to Arizona. There's 6,600 hotels on this marketplace. So a team, and logistically, when you're planning travel, the hotel is the hardest part because you know where Delta flies or American or whatever the case may be. It's the hotel side. And we've built a platform where he can put in whatever school he wants to go to. Say he's coming here to Tempe. We've got 40 partners in the Phoenix area that automatically he'll put his bid in and what he wants, the specs. We need breakfast, we need dinner, we need whatever we need. And it automatically goes right to that hotel sales department and they can bid on the opportunity. Kind of a competitive bid. And that happens, it's not real time, it's not tied to anything automatic because there's inventory that needs to be checked from the property level, from the hotel level. But it's something that they can go back in and log in, put as many hotels as they want and see the bids and what the differences are in rates and everything. That's something that doesn't happen right now, other than us.
Why did you start the business?
I started the business, I was in the hotel business. I worked for Hyatt. I applied for a job being like a director of national sales out of the Chicago office. I'm based in Boise, Idaho is where we're at. And they didn't even want to look at me because I didn't have a lot of experience on the national level. I was a really good salesperson in the local market, regional market, but I didn't have the national. And that kind of chapped me a little bit. I felt like, hey, you know what, I can do this. I know how to work. I'm a hard worker. So I saw this opportunity where I could take my brand, my own thing nationally, and I really started it like that. To deal with hotels and travel people all over the country was exciting to me. That was
so you told me why you got interested in it, but why did you start the business?
Why did I start?
Not the business reason, but what was the reason you wanted to break away from working for somebody else, take this risk, put your own money on the line, not collect the paycheck potentially, hire people, sign leases? What's the real reason you started the business?
I ask myself that every day sometimes. You wake up and you wonder why sometimes. I think the real reason was just independence, putting my skin in the game and being able to do everything I wanted, not having somebody direct where I went in my career. That was important to me. I had somebody told me I couldn't do something. You don't have the experience to do this. And that bothered me. So I think it was a lot of inside stuff, wanted to go out and do my own thing. And where nobody my clients guide me, but we can kind of go into markets that we want. That was important to me, being able to do what I want.
Ron, did you always feel that way, even when you worked at Hyatt, that you didn't want somebody telling you what to do?
Not always. I feel I was employable. I was a good employee, but I could never break through the ceiling. There was always barriers that I had to have a certain degree, or I had to be in a different position, or geographically I had to live somewhere to do something, and that was tough.
How many people in this room know why they started their business? And not the business reasons, but what the real motivation was. You feel like you know? What's the reason you started your business?
I did it as a child in my family. I helped with the care city and the psychiatry.
She did it as a child and it was part of her family. You have any family members in your business?
My wife actually works with me, yes.
She works with you, or
Yes.
you work for her? How's that work?
She works with me.
Or is that just like walk us through how that works?
She came on, I'm right now, per se, 100% owner of the business. She's our top salesperson. She was a hotel salesperson, came in, gave her a call list, and she started pounding the phones. That's what she does.
How long have you been married?
We've been married for 6 years.
6 years. And you're 100% owner of the business in your mind?
Oh, well, in my mind, yes.
And so she's a staff member?
She has a staff member.
And who does she report to?
She reports to me.
That's interesting. So if she doesn't, if there's a problem, what's that discussion look like?
You know what? It's interesting you say that because I bounce a lot of things off of her, but she at the place like we were talking before at the office, we have other staff members that are with us. She's an employee there. I mean, she's valuable with what we say, but I have somebody that's worked there longer than her that's been with us for 4 years, and they're all employees. I mean, we're all a big family, like you said. Everybody makes decisions. I'm the ultimate decision maker on direction we want to go. But there hasn't been a lot of that. She works for her clients more than she works for me. I mean, she's in tune with what they want.
And you take sales calls still?
Oh, absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely.
You sit on the phone and
Yeah.
do what everybody else
We
does?
pound phone calls. Absolutely. That's how we grow. We don't have money to market.
Do you work in an office or a cubicle?
We have an office.
No, do you work in an
I have an
office?
office.
Or do you sit in a cubicle?
I sit in an office.
And how about everybody else?
Everybody's in an office.
Everybody has their own office?
Yes.
That's fancy.
Yeah. Nobody likes cubicles. I want to go there. It's cheaper lease, but nobody wants to do that.
Who works in a cubicle in here? Anybody work in a cubicle? Kinda cubicle? The work environment, it depends on obviously the industry that you're in, but the work environment is something that you guys should spend some time looking at. And the typical setup of the office. I'm not a big fan of offices, but in a sales-oriented thing where there's people talking on the phone and you don't want to have a lot of noise, I guess you can make the argument, which is the same argument call centers make when there's a sea of people.
Right.
But I think it's something to think about in modern day. You try to get closer to your people. That office is a pretty big barrier. And it's funny, when people come to my office, they're sort of trying to figure out why I'm in a cubicle with a bunch of other people. It changes the dynamics of your relationship with people. And when you separate yourself, and I'm not advocating that offices are bad, so please don't leave here and think you have to leave your office. But it is good once in a while, if you have an office and you have a large sales floor, to maybe even get yourself a cubicle out there or a desk out there. And once in a while, just hang out there. Take a phone call from there, scribble, put your name on it. It just sends a message that you're not too good to sit out there with people. And I'm glad to hear that you take sales calls. What's the biggest challenge you have in your business today?
Biggest challenge is working with our vendors and
When you say vendors for the audience,
hotel chains.
so
And not,
Hilton,
yeah, Hilton.
or like the
all
Phoenician.
Not the Phoenician.
Not the Phoenician.
We'd love to have them stay there. But working with, because we don't work with a national sales office. A lot of our competitors work with what they call the national sales representative who does a territory. We feel that's very ineffective and very slow. We like to deal with the hotel person on the ground at the hotel. We have 6,600 partners, and the turnover in the hospitality and the hotel side is it turns over. So it's keeping them folks engaged with us. When the coach goes into our platform and sends out an opportunity to them, and some of these opportunities could be $50,000 for a track team coming in for a tournament. So they're large opportunities, and all the salesperson has to do is log in and put their rate in there. It's getting them folks engaged with us when we're not doing business with them. You went to Marquette, the track team might only go to South Florida once a year. And when they go back down there, remembering who we are and building our brand amongst our vendors that we bring business to, and they pay us, but they don't pay us unless we drive business to them.
Walk me through how you came up with the name of the company.
Select Hospitality. We started as a hotel site selection where all we did was the hotel programs. So Select Hospitality. You select us, Select Hospitality. Hospitality business is my core. That's what I grew up in, so I felt that was an appropriate name for it.
Okay. And does it tell me what industry you're in, or do I have to do more research?
It does not. It tells you it's hospitality business, but it doesn't say travel in it, which we've tossed around a bit.
And select is because they're picking?
They're selecting. We give them an option of travel opportunities. We won't just give them one. We bid out and they select their hospitality.
And singularly, you're in the sports
Correct.
arena.
Correct.
And so no sports in the name, any sports in the logos, anything that would tell me you're in the sports business?
If you went to the website, you would see it, but not just if we were talking, you would know what I did from
Can college students use the website?
It's mainly for administrators and coaches, no, because it's group.
Individuals cannot. Fraternities,
It could, if they had a group traveling somewhere, absolutely.
do they know that today?
They do not.
And then like, the different intramural clubs and the different, gosh, there's probably like a
Yeah.
million clubs on campus, art club and the debate club. Do they have access to it?
Anybody that travels as a group essentially has access to it.
Do they know that?
They do not. We don't market to them.
So it'd be interesting to take one college that you have an amazing relationship with and do some test marketing of getting your product into some other organizations, because the sports business is gonna expand and contract, but once you establish that relationship with somebody at one university, there may be the ability to grow it. Something just to think about.
That's what I do.
Any questions for me?
Just when would you say a business, we have a really strong niche, we feel very good about it, it's group oriented, we'll do recruiting, so a little bit of individual and coaches go on the road to recruit their athletes, but when would a business go into a whole different sub-market of that, like corporate travel, which is huge in this country? Very competitive, that's why we stay away from it. But when do you get to the point in your business where you would make that jump?
I would start with what we just talked about, which is taking a university that I had really good penetration with and trying to get a ranking, and you probably can ask the college newspaper, or there's gotta be some directory, we could find the other organizations, student government, whatever they may be, and I would start exploring with one university. And I would pick one that's close to your office where you can visit it. I would find a couple of ambassadors on campus, maybe even one of the business clubs, where you can give them a little revenue share where they can be incentivized to grow it. And I would grow it using a network of people as opposed to thinking that people are just gonna call you, because the platform is set up. And if it expands over time, then you're getting into 30, 40, 50 different organizations on one campus. And if you become more visible on campus, one university, I would think that would expand. I would do that before I went to a whole nother, no pun intended, a whole nother campus. I don't know that the name is, you may wanna create a separate brand that is under the same legal entity, but a separate brand that feels like it's more college-centric. Select Hospitality, it sounds very formal and corporate, and so you may wanna just think about it. But that's what I would do, I would invest in that. Is there anything proprietary about what you do?
Just, I mean, don't patent the service, but with our platform,
Well, but do you patent any technology? Is there anything?
we could patent the technology that we have, because with the inner workings of it, there's nothing that exists like it
So
today.
you wrote the software?
The software was wrote by us, by a local coder that works with us, yeah. But we built it exactly how we want. Took our feedback from coaches, we built it exactly how they wanted, and we're tweaking with it. I mean, it's been live for about a year, but really tweaked and ready to roll as of February, so we're
And so, do you know what the University Advancement Department is?
heard of it.
Yeah, so University Advancement's basically the fundraising arm. And there's an army of people that basically spend all their time on the road. And so I would look at the different parts of the university where you could do some research and find out what would be travel. My best advice would be I would find the business club on campus, see if you can cut some sort of, I don't wanna call it a joint venture because it sounds too, some commission structure. Tell them exactly what you're looking for, let them write a business plan, give them a couple of $300 to write the plan, have them tell you where they think the opportunity is, and then maybe you give them an opportunity to be in business, because all these business clubs and fraternities are looking for ways to make money. It's their version of selling M&Ms when they're in high school, right? Anything else that you struggle, hard to find people to work there?
You know, not really. We have a good team, you know, because you get to deal with, if you like travel, you get to deal with all kinds of different entities of that with the airlines. Good people, you know, it's hard to find good salespeople to actually go out and sell it.
Yeah.
Because it's cranking on the phone. I mean, a good salesperson is doing 40 cold calls in a day. When you don't have anything to do, we're on the phone.
What can a great employee make at your place?
Great employee, I think the biggest thing that I've learned probably in the last year is just being a team player, having a great attitude at work.
What kind of money can they make?
They can make anywhere, you know, depending on the level, our starting wage for like a good salesperson, 30 to 40,000.
What's the best salesperson make there?
The best salesperson makes 32.5 today.
What's your wife make?
32.5 today.
She's the best?
She's the best.
Okay. Is that because she's the best or you give her business?
She's the best. She's fantastic.
That's good. Any questions for Ron?